Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce myself. In the Black Rock tradition, as you already figured by my voice and my skin, that I'm alive and I'm coming for my kin. Here's what happened. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are, doing my grammar from afar. Listen to me, my dear, and check this out. Yesterday, I invited myself to see Lincoln. I invited myself to Washington, D.C. on my own regard and valor. I partied hard in New York City. Everybody who now sees this video, who's had my tickets to ride, just hold on to them. They're all good, I promise you. I've purposely turned off your videos financially. Very impressed on the views. Very impressed to meet you and honored to allow me to share my wealth with you to change your life forever. I'm very, very enchanted about that. Okay? So, the woman in the subway with the baby, with the sign, John, make sure she gets taken care of. Okay? She already came to see you. I'm going to talk to her on the phone and calm her down. The taxi driver, Lagos, Stephen Colbert Show, all of it is going to come, okay? My tickets and my ink are golden, and I know that. I know who I am, and I know what I'm doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I live a very dangerous life, and I know that. I'm under a federal witness protection program with Secret Service detail that can't be lifted. That's irrevocable for the rest of my life. Okay? I've shooed them off for now. Don't bother me. Leave me alone. I'm incognito right now. Okay? I'm safe in my hotel room. Okay? So yesterday, after addressing Lincoln, I really loved tooling around the Capitol on my electric scooter. I rented one for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, those things are really cool, okay? They are really cool. I love those things, okay? I had a fun time. It cost me like $60 to zip all around the Capitol, and I got to see what I'm going to represent for thee. Movement of the people. Just think Bob Marley, Exodus, please. The preamble of the United States of America. I, the people, for which I stand. Do you understand? For which I stand. The people. Okay? So this is what happened. Let me give you a preamble of why I know that this is what was going to happen to me. George Merkel is the first person to come to the table with monatomic gold, aka Formula U, aka ocean plasma water. Okay? Through high fructose processing. I'll explain later. It's not important. But when he went to Congress back in the 60s with the cure for cancer, they poisoned him with cyanide in his coffee. He went to the hospital. He collapsed on the floor of Congress. They put him on a stretcher. He went to the hospital, drank his potion, and walked. Okay? That's the story. The reason I know that, because the guild of George Merkel and the family has given me, this man right here, the library of George Merkel, the man who discovered the genome and the man who gave us the understanding of DNA. Okay? Wait till you see my videos that I'm going to put in this link on H hydrogen for power. It's going to blow your mind what's in our blood. Okay? So, Nancy Pelosi knew I was coming. So she gave me, it was ready for me at the door. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. A gallows pass from Nancy Pelosi herself. So I left her a love note. That's all she needed to know, is that I was present. I was comfortably sitting in the gallows. When I had the idea to speak on the floor, this is what I want to speak on the floor about. Asylum cards. Everybody's going to get asylum cards. Purple asylum cards called Happy Foons cards. Okay? I've purposely dropped Sandra Foons off the YouTube for now, because she's under federal witness protection program, and I don't want her life in jeopardy. Because there's an executive order, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Sandra Foons and Others, signed by Barack Obama to me, David Puckta, for love. It means that an asylum person can come here and marry a United States citizen and never get deported. Okay? But they can't have a green card. So I'm going to sponsor asylum cards through BlackRock. Because I'm not joking. Okay? You'll get 600, and it's a 15% bond annually. So you'll get $625 for life. Plus, I'm going to preload $1,500 on the card as a traveling expense to get here. I lied. Remember, alchemy is 99% true and 1% lie. I could lie for a year and have 99 years of truth behind me. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been lying to you on purpose. It's either NDA or lie to protect you. Over the last course of videos, they've all been lies, ladies and gentlemen, except for one thing. We're coming to the pack of an independent for the first time in the White House with $200 billion in our pack. The first $100 billion is coming from the Roth family on the London Stock Exchange. So we can give it to AC/DC to play 10 days at MacArthur Park. Okay? It's $1 billion a day per band member per 10 days to be present. Okay? The rest of the money is to put gigantic speakers up the St. Louis Arch and a 450 by 1,500 foot LCD screen, permanent installation with 3-dimensional servo motors on the speakers so that we can attenuate the sound through the hoop. Okay? And we can broadcast an emergency broadcast signal or an emergency FCC signal or whatever the city council of St. Louis MacArthur Park wants to put up on the screen. Maybe there's somebody behind me, you know what I mean? They can't afford it. So it's going to be a permanent installation. Now then, I was pulled out of the gallows because I was told to call this phone number, okay? You see this phone number? Of the Sergeant at Arms. Well, I didn't get the Sergeant at Arms office. I got Kevin McCarthy. They transferred me to Kevin McCarthy. And they recorded the call, okay? And I explained my idea of why I want to speak on the floor, but I need a jacket. I've got a jacket, but it was in the luggage storage at the Amtrak station. Okay? Sergeant at the Amtrak station. All your money's good. Okay? Just chill. Ask at the Amtrak station. You know who I am, my man. Your money's good. Just wait. Okay? It's coming. Just wait. Because I won, ladies and gentlemen. I won what I wanted to win in federal court. The right to put Michael Aware and Lawrence Fink and now Kevin McCarthy in prison for the rest of their lives. Because Kevin McCarthy, at the check-in counter, I was already pre-booked in the gallows for Section G, Seat 8. Okay? They already knew I was coming. When I got there, I called the Sergeant at Arms because I wanted to speak at the floor. Well, when Kevin McCarthy unduly discoursed me over oppression, I need to sidebar for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, and explain to you what oppression is. It's a tort in the court of law that you can't oppress somebody of their money, their religion, their friends, their social status, their things, their belongings, or their wishes. Okay? I wish to speak on the floor. He discoursed me with a glass of cyanide, ladies and gentlemen. I have been sweating out the cyanide all night. My bed is saturated, okay? My clothes are saturated. I purposely drank a full bottle of ocean plasma water before. I didn't eat anything for 30 hours. I didn't sleep purposely because you got to be in famine if you're going to take poison, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't urinate all day long. All I did was drink water, a little bit of Dr. Pepper, a sip or two, and a little bit of tea, like a half a cup of tea. Look what I got. Look at my urine. It's directly going to the FBI when I get back, okay? I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. until August 13th because look what I got. This is what I came to Washington for, right here. My library card, so that I can check out books and I can read and I can fix things for you guys. I read Blackstone, which is the dictionary of law, at 18 years old, okay? That's why Lawrence Fink named his company Blackstone Advisors out of Bank of New York Mellon. They plagiarized my copyrighted trade platform of 10 certificates and 1 house, played like 10-hand blackjack against you with 1 deck against my 10 decks or hands. Who's going to win? Me all the time. So the idea was that every time I won and a trust got fortified, go ahead and automatically open another one. So Steve from Countrywide called me every month and said, Mr. Puckta, what do you want to do? I said, all in, auto. Okay? Means all in. Everything on the table down to a penny. Okay? And once you win enough money to open up another trust, open another trust. Well, by the time I stopped trade in 2007, I was worth 8.5 billion in remittance payments. Okay? The same 8.5 billion that Donald Trump has been claiming. Okay? I put Donald Trump on my protective order and Bill Gates, along with my family, to protect their wealth during the housing meltdown. So I own Donald Trump right now because I own Deutsche Bank, ladies and gentlemen. It's in my portfolio. Okay? Well, at that time, I was worth 5.7 trillion in paid off mortgage-backed securities. And the mortgage-backed securities in the United States of America were worth 4.8 trillion. I could have paid off all your homes back then, but I said no, it has to go to Supreme Court, and I'm only going to have about 1.7 left. It's not enough to do what I really want to do. So I let it season. Let Lawrence Fink think he's running the company, okay, until I called on him on the last videos, and he's on his way to prison for plagiarizing my trade platform because he's got contempt of court, and Michael Aware has got contempt of court over their head right now. The Twinkle Twinkle ran out of her office with a full stack of all my doctrines and work papers. Everybody who's been on the classified email thread, from Rachel Maddow to Hannity to Anderson Cooper, Obama, Zelensky, the White House, and others, have been told to fuck off for now. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I found out who funded 9/11. He was standing on the other side of the Hudson River, self-proclaimed, cheering with Muslims. I've purposely, ladies and gentlemen, ever since I met Donald Trump in person at his rally in San Diego, that I'm going to now load those videos for you. High on rock cocaine, ladies and gentlemen, I hypnotized Donald Trump to tell the truth only on camera. Okay? That's why he will not take an interview unless it's live. Okay? I've hypnotized him. So then, that's why he's a bumbling idiot, okay? And he can't figure out why. So the sergeant at arms lets me hang up the phone. There was a drink on the counter that had a lime taste. Okay, that's cyanide, ladies and gentlemen. I drank a whole glass of cyanide under alcohol, a glass of poison, my best glass of poison. Okay, then it had a mint leaf in it to hide the cyanide taste. Do they think I'm stupid? No. Then the Capitol Police come up to me, okay? And they interview me for an hour and a half. The whole gang, okay? After I presented myself to every officer that I could find to let them know that if it were me as the president, or the fact that I could have made a phone call, I was under a classified vacation. And I couldn't get back to the phone because I was in jail, ladies and gentlemen, unduly held by Officer James Romero, who's on his way to prison for life, okay? Because I was working on the coronavirus for you. And he said, who do I think I am? You can't afford to fund a hospital. I see your bank accounts. You're just a worthless piece of shit. Sidebar, witness protection program since '05 with Secret Service detail through the CIA and FBI, ladies and gentlemen. I am your federal government. So they interviewed me for an hour and a half because there was an invitation next to the glass of poison on the counter for me on the entrance to the gallows. And the invitation said, paraphrasing, Kevin McCarthy cordially invites you to a funeral tomorrow of a woman that I don't know as a paying homage to her life. They wanted to murder me. Attempted murder on Kevin McCarthy. Now the sergeant at arms knows, and the chief, the sergeant of the Capitol Police addressed me. So I put him in the Fathers Guild of Knights of Columbus to protect him, with a $238 million bond coming so he can share it with his other Knights of Columbus cadets outside police. Perfectly legal for me to do. I didn't give him a gift as a police officer. This was in the exit interview. And I walked, and their head investigator for homicide, she was in white, and she was blown away after asking me memory questions. Where was I at? Who did I speak to? What did I do? When did I do it? How many minutes ago? First thing that happens when you're cyanide poisoning is you lose your memory. You lose who you are, okay? And then if you add iodine, it explodes your blood vessels in iced tea, like they did Stan Meyer. Stan Meyer owns the patent to the ITAR reactor. They gave him $20 billion, and then they gave him iced tea, iodine at the Cracker Barrel. And he collapsed in the parking lot and died in the hospital 3 days later, supposedly. As the story goes, I own all his patents for the water-powered car because my circuits, linear Paul magnetism, are the third time in the world to transform the electron. First, you had Alexandra Voltaia in the voltaic stack, which were metal plates of copper and burlap sack and iron, and poured acid over the top so that you could create a battery. Then Michael Faraday wrote the laws of electromagnetism until Nikola Tesla came by and engineered AC electricity. Now, Pukta comes by and engineers LC, superconductive current. The superconductive current goes over the grid and it fortifies the photosynthesis cycle. So photosynthesis is being stopped by Michael Faraday and Tesla right now. That's the problem of climate change. They don't want you to fix climate change. They don't want immigrants in the country, the Republicans. So I said, fuck you to the Republicans a long time ago, a week or two ago. I still say fuck you to the Republicans. So I came to the White House to tell Joe Biden that, hey man, I'd be stoked. I'm going to kick your ass all the way to the polls. This is going to be the worst inauguration that Joe Biden's ever had. Okay? Or campaign, I should say, because he's not going to win the inauguration because I came to Washington via Nancy Pelosi, okay? Via Nancy Pelosi to tell Joe Biden I'd be honored to go ahead and be your apprentice for the next 4 years and just sit on your cabinet as a defense contractor through proton spin technology because I put up a bond for Zelensky for $500 billion so that he can buy all the helicopters, bombers, and explosives that he wants to go ahead and level the Kremlin and bulldoze it and take it off the planet. That's final. That's a last word and testament and a will. Okay? So my olive branch to Nancy Pelosi is, Joe Biden, let me just sit on the cabinet for 4 years and let me be your apprentice, okay? That's off the table. Because of this, you tried to murder me and you allowed it to happen. You're the president of the United States. You knew I was coming. Okay? Kevin McCarthy tried to murder me, sir. So no, I don't want to sit on your cabinet. I'm bonding the budget of the United States of America as of this video. And I'm bonding the deficit. It's pay and doable today. The name of the United States of America is the United States of Pukta, with all perspectives. Russia, all the way to Japan. Final. To the beneficiary of my daughter. It's off the table. We're running head to head now. Good luck. Take the Democratic nomination. Shove it up your asshole.